Sam show. I'm Kat, and this is my lovely
Sam?
Sam. And today is a special day, and we're gonna do Advent calendars. Yay!
So what have you?
I got Star Wars.
And I've gone. I've gone for Disney storybooks. So I think it's pretty cool, actually.
I get to hear the sultry voice of Sam. This is gonna be awesome. Sam's gonna hear my voice and go, "What is going on over there?"
Now I can't wait to see your. I can't wait to see your creations. So, and we're going to be doing it every. We're going to be doing it every day, aren't we? On a countdown. So this is number 1, obviously, 1st of December. So yes, we're starting. So who do you want to crack open yours, or shall I crack open mine first?
Well, we can crack open yours, and then we could crack open mine, and then I can.
Then are you going to start doing
build mine?
Build yours.
I can build mine while you
tell you a
read
story.
The story.
Okay.
So maybe we'll get a little anticipation from yours being opened first.
Okay. Well, here's the insides of mine.
We start with number 1.
And story number 1. Oh. There we go. Let's see what story number 1 is. So,
anticipation.
Alice in Wonderland, a present for the Queen.
Ooh.
You're
okay,
my
I gotta
queen.
Wait. I gotta open mine. Oh
Go on.
My gosh, I am your queen. Now I'm gonna open 1.
Go on.
I'm gonna open 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if I can do such a great presentation as Sam, but we'll try. Number 1. I just had it in my sights. It's right here.
I love Advent calendars so much.
Well,
Aha, so what have you got?
I'm not sure, but here's the bag of loveliness.
A bag of lovely Star Warsiness.
Star Wars.
Is that the picture of what it is?
That is the picture of what it is.
Ah, okay, cool.
Now I'm going to work my magic over
Okay.
here while you're reading me a story.
Right. We will create a wonderful Christmas scene. So,
I'm so excited. The story ends.
Alice in Wonderland.
Well, I don't know what this is going to be.
A present for the Queen. It looks like Christmas, said Alice, gazing out of her parlour window one cold December afternoon. Snow sparkled in the fields and on the branches of the pine trees. Outside, children were building a snowman. Alice thought about joining them, but the parlour was so warm and cosy. Alice yawned. Perhaps it would be best to stay inside after all. Suddenly, something hopped across the snow in front of Alice's house. It was a rabbit with white fur wearing a red coat. Startled, Alice sat up and peered out of the window. "Why, it's the White Rabbit from Wonderland," she cried. "It's lost! It's lost!" the White Rabbit wailed as he hurried past the house. Alice quickly put on her winter coat and ran outside after the rabbit. She caught up to him just as he was about to dive into a hole under a tree. "Oh, you must let me through," said the White Rabbit cried. "I've lost the Queen of Hearts' Christmas present, and if I can't find it, she'll have my head." "Oh dear, that would be awful indeed," Alice said. "Please let me help you find it." But the White Rabbit simply dived down the hole without another word. Alice followed the White Rabbit, leaving her house far behind. As Alice fell, she passed all sorts of Christmas decorations, stockings, Have you
I'm still
finished?
working my magic.
Oh, you're
no.
You're still working your magic. Well, they didn't have any bells.
I have a man.
You have a
I have a man.
Lucky you. Did he come in your stocking? Oh, you have a man. Have you built him?
I built the man.
Oh,
There's
fantastic.
other things that came with him. I'm not sure. So I'm still working over here. Sorry to interrupt the story.
Do you need me to carry on or?
Carry on.
Okay. Okay, well, there's no bells and there's no little men, but there were stockings, wreaths, garlands, and even a beautifully dressed tree. Down and down and down she fell until she landed with a thump. Alice saw the rabbit's fluffy tail disappear through a door. She hurried after him and found herself on a snowy path lined with evergreen trees. The white rabbit was gone, but Alice could see his footprints in the snow. Alice made her way down the path, admiring the lights on the trees. "Why, they're fireflies!" she exclaimed. All at once the footprints stopped. "I've lost him again," Alice said with a sigh. "Lost who?" someone asked. A toothy smile appeared in one of the snowy trees, followed quickly by a purple-striped cat around the smile. "Cheshire Cat," Alice cried happily. "You look like a Cheshire Cat. I love your smile." "Maybe you can help me. The White Rabbit has lost the Queen's present and—" "But that's a lost what?" the cat interrupted, grinning down at Alice. "I thought you said a lost who?" Alice frowned. Usually she quite enjoyed riddles, but she always had such trouble explaining herself to the Cheshire Cat. "I didn't lose a what," she said to the smiling cat. "The White Rabbit did, and now I've lost him." Suddenly the Cheshire Cat disappeared, leaving the tree branch empty once again. "I can't help you with your lost who," he called out, "but I can help you with your lost what. Try the Mad Hatter." Alice looked round. She knew the Mad Hatter wasn't on the path behind her, so she continued forwards. Soon she heard music. "Deck the halls with bowls of jelly. Alice emerged in a clearing. The Mad Hatter and the March Hare stood with their arms around each other singing. They stopped when they saw Alice. "Join us," the Mad Hatter cried. "We're singing Christmas Harolds." "Christmas Harolds?" Alice asked, confused. "Don't you mean Christmas carols?" "What does carol have to do with it?" the March Hare asked. "Everyone knows Harold wrote all the best Christmas songs," added the Mad Hatter. And with that the March Hare and the Mad Hatter began to sing again. "But that's not how the song goes at all," Alice said, shaking her head. "And anyway, I don't have time to sing. The White Rabbit has lost the Queen's Christmas present," and suddenly the Mad Hatter jumped up in front of Alice, holding a teapot and a teacup. "Cold cocoa," he offered, handing Alice the teacup. "Don't you mean hot cocoa?" Alice replied. "This reminds me of a riddle," the Mad Hatter said. "What keeps your head cool in the summer and warm in winter?" "A hat, of course," Alice said, and with a twinkle in his eye the Mad Hatter took off his hat. Sitting atop his head was a large Christmas present, and lying on top of the present was the tiny, sleepy Dormouse. "There you are," the Mad Hatter said, grabbing the Dormouse. "And here you are," the March Hare said, handing Alice the present. "Thank you," Alice cried. "And now, if you would be so kind—" But the Mad Hatter and the March Hare weren't listening and burst into song again. Alice realised she would have to keep looking for the White Rabbit on her own. Shaking her head, she left the clearing, and as she made her way through the trees, she saw that the White Rabbit's footprints had reappeared. She carefully followed them all the way to the Queen's castle. As she approached the gates, the Queen's guards grabbed her. "The Queen's got a reward out for your head," one of the guards said. The guards took Alice to the throne room where the White Rabbit was busy apologising to the Queen. I'm sorry, Your Majesty," he said, stammering. I had your present and then I lost it. The Queen had heard enough. She stood and pointed down at the White Rabbit. "Off with his head!" she shouted. "No!" Alice cried, breaking away from the guards. "The present isn't lost. I found it." The Queen glared at Alice. "Off with her head!" she yelled. The King coughed quietly and placed his hand on the Queen's arm. "Perhaps you should open the present first, dear," he suggested meekly. The Queen eyed the present. "Well, I suppose I could," she said, tearing off the box's wrapping, and her eyes lit up as she pulled out a small Christmas tree. As the Queen of Hearts admired her Christmas gift, a large grin appeared in the air next to Alice. "Now might not be the worst time to slip away," it said. Alice nodded and quietly sneaked out of the room. As soon as she was safely out of sight, she began to run. She slipped on a patch of ice and hit her head, and everything went black. And when Alice opened her eyes, she found herself back in her parlour. She yawned sleepily. "What a strange dream I've just had," she said. Stretching, Alice looked out of the window. Her eyes stopped on the finished snowman. It was wearing a familiar hat and holding a teacup. Alice frowned. Perhaps it hadn't been a dream after all. So I want to see, what have you created, my darling?
I believe it's Anakin.
Oh, he is cool.
On a sleigh of sorts?
Oh, that is
I don't know.
brilliant.
We might need some help from the technical
The tech
support.
team.
It's Omega and she's I saw the yellow hair and thought of Anakin, and it's a girl.
Oh, that is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic.
In my head, Anakin has blonde hair.
That is brilliant. Well, I think, happy Christmas to everybody. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Stories, fun, and just joy. Happy Christmas, my darling. To you and yours.
Merry Christmas on the first day
On the first day
of Christmas.
of our
Almost
Yuletide.
Halloween. Of our Yuletide. Exactly. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.